the chair of the Lodging Tax Advisory Board.
I'm Amanda Korth. I'm just on the board.
This conference will now be recorded.
Sorry, no worries. There is Joe Kozlowitz. He's our board secretary. She said it's an informal part, so we can just let it go.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right. I'm sorry, would you read? I know I'm kind of...
David Wright, Parks and Rec, Chairman, Parks and Recreation Board.
And what was your
Chairman.
name again? I didn't...
David Wright.
Okay, David.
And I'm Matthew Neff. I'm on the Historic Preservation Committee.
Okay.
Thanks for coming, guys.
We appreciate that, yes. Help yourself to cookies and water. We brought some light refreshments. Thank you, Des.
Thanks.
So basically what we are here to do is to talk about ways that we can collaborate together to promote both tourism. Oh, no worries.
One of my board members is calling. I think she's coming.
Oh, I thought he was going for the cookies.
I'm gonna go, that's for sure.
You need one of those. So the way the board is structured now, we have a quality of life, and there are ways that quality of life also intersects.
So let's start.
We're all here.
Yes.
She's coming.
Awesome. In that, there are ways that quality of life. Oh,
This conference will now be recorded.
I thought you.
I did press it. That's it's a ghost in the
No,
machine.
it's okay. We have another copy over here.
Yeah.
Quality of life intersects with both history and historic preservation and parks and recreation, as well as other things that the boards do here. Those can be used to promote tourism and make things better for our residents. So we want to come together and kind of figure out ways that we can brainstorm to come up with ideas. That we do have like a budget for parks and recs. I know there's a couple of things that you guys are actively working on. So how can we work together to get those things accomplished? As well as like the way we intersect, like part of tourism would be our history. I would love to see us find a way to develop some kind of historical draw for tourism, as well as get out the word of the work that that board does to preserve the history that we have here. Education, just a lot of different ways that we can work together to improve Trinidad for everyone. So the idea is that we'll meet every quarter. So this is August, October, so November would be the next one, right? Yeah, November would be the next time we would meet. So we invite you guys to kind of go back to your boards, discuss what it is that might intersect. Hi.
Hi.
Go on in.
Don't pass up the cookies.
Yes.
Cookies.
Okay.
Hey, Deb.
Anything
Take a water.
I didn't know if you had any.
So there's maybe just a couple things, namely that the quality of life stuff. I know the Parks and Rec folks are probably a little familiar with this because I did come to you guys in the past year for some ideas, but we're limited right now. I think it's around $150,000. So that is, I think, the Parks and Rec specific. And then on the Arts and Cultural side, I don't know if I can remember that off the top of my head, was 25,000, I think. So it's not an enormous sum, but it's some money to work with, and so we just want to collaborate with you guys in terms of how the lodging funds get spent.
So that's from this year, currently.
Correct, yeah. We expect budget will stay flat. However, the key factor is, you may have heard or seen on last year's ballot, that the city is seeking to double the lodging tax. Happy to dive into that further. Obviously, our board is in favor of that. we would love it if you guys can act in your own circles in terms of trying to spread the word, the benefits of that to citizens, to the work that you guys are trying to do in your own boards as well. So a lot of what we've been doing is trying to build this track record of success to point back to and kind of say, hey, look at the great things we're doing with lodging money. It doesn't affect citizens directly in terms of an expense, right? It's only visitors to town. And we took, for example, some of the ideas that we identified with Parks and Rec. I presented those to council, and it's in their hands now. So we're hopeful they can get some of that money spent ahead of November, so we can say, oh yeah, this, like the playground repairs that people have been asking for example, that came from lodging funds. So ultimately we are very low compared to other municipalities in terms of that rate. It's a 3% tax rate. It would be the difference of $1 to $2 on most hotel bills. So it's pretty negligible, but it adds up over time.
How are you?
We can do a lot.
I'm sorry, but how are you planning on getting the word out?
Yeah, so only some of that falls to our board. We do have that on our discussions. One thing we've talked about is maybe like using utility mailers. We also want to do that for our citizen meetings, but there are rules around what we're allowed to say in terms of officially promoting it. Now's the time before it actually hits the ballot where we can kind of get after it hard. We just got some emails today, or at least I did. I don't know if you guys received those as board members, but they're forming some type of commission around this. I think they're reaching out to business owners. So, I own a bike shop. So relevant businesses that are in the tourism realm, they're contacting them to form kind of a group around promoting that. So some of that is still up in the air.
Who's they?
Trust for Public Land, actually. Jason Swan has reached out to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll share it with you guys for sure. So there is some work being done in that regard. I know the city will be running out communications on it as well, but once again, I think they'll be limited once it's officially on the ballot. They may not be able to really say, like, we're in favor of this. They would just have to say, here are the choices, So
For an
yeah.
idea, could you go to like the Chronicle or, and have them kind of promote it without doing an ad or anything ahead of time?
I think they would want to write a piece about it for sure and interview folks on their perspectives. So yeah, that's a great idea.
The marketing agency that we use has been instrumental in helping other areas increase their lodging tax. So we're relying on them to some extent to put together a whole cohesive campaign to help us with that.
That'll work.
I think to your idea of actually fixing some stuff will sell it a lot better to people, because a lot of the reasons that I heard for why people voted against it was they thought the money was going to be wasted.
Mm.
And so I think if you show them, look, this is what we're actually going to do with it, and we can prove to you that we're capable of using the money we have right now, then they'll be more willing to say, okay, well, let's give them some more money to work with.
Yeah. So if you guys are talking to folks about that, in the end, the bulk of our budget is still going towards promoting Trinidad. But we have this piece for the quality of life improvements that really do impact folks more directly. I would add that we just learned at our last meeting that second quarter, year over year, we were up on lodging. Nothing crazy, but I think 800 or 900 rooms, and so that's about $8,000 or $9,000 in additional lodging tax. So to me, that is some indication that what we're doing from the board and from the ad agency is paying dividends. And so that's something else you could mention, is that, like, we're growing this fund, and we are bringing people here to Trinidad to experience the town. So not everyone is going to be in favor of tourism. That just is what it is. But I think it's important to just reinforce that it's a huge economic driver for our city, and really leads back directly to employment. people need jobs, that's one thing you can always reinforce.
So as a member of the board, we're really not allowed to promote, as a board, we're not allowed to promote this whole idea, but as members, we can, put stuff on Facebook or whatever, right? Without, I guess you can't identify yourself as a member of the board, that might be how it works.
Correct. I would not present it as, hey, I'm a member of this board, and I think this is a great idea for this reason. But
You could always do it anonymously on Trinidad Chatter because that's really popular.
Well, having some talking points would be helpful too. So we're maybe all kind of on the same page, or I don't know.
Great. So we, at the second meeting of every month, is going to be designated to meet with the public in some way. This month was our board meeting. Next month is the business partners meeting, and then the month after that, we're doing a residents meeting. We do have a slide or a presentation ready for our residents that does have some talking points on it. One of the most impressive slides in that slideshow is the one that says lodging tax saves residents money. In 2022, because we only have the data. Hey, Chris.
Was it 6?
No, 5:30, but it's a work session, so it's
yeah,
really
we're just kind of chatting.
Sorry about that.
The lodging taxes from 2022 saved the people in Los Angeles County $147 in taxes. So for every penny that we get from lodging tax, it saves for our residents. That's
147 per person, or 147,000,
Yeah,
or
I'll
what?
find this.
$147 per. Is it household or person?
Okay, well, I'm just curious. Altogether, 147 doesn't sound like a lot. Okay.
Colorado. So these are 2022 stats for Los Animas County. And it is just under $140,000 is spent daily by visitors. 51 million in total in 22. 710 jobs are directly tied to tourism, and 1.2 million came in taxes. So that is translates to $147 saved from each household in taxes specifically.
Thank you. Maybe you could send out these talking points in an email, or whatever slide you have.
Yeah, certainly.
Oh yeah.
That'd be great.
The deck is good. It speaks to just kind of how tourism benefits the town, and a bit about what the board is supposed to do as well. So it's a good overview.
Is that the one that's the ACE presentation?
Yeah.
Was that due to the lodging tax existing, or to tourist spending overall in 2022?
It is due to the taxes paid by visitors, so that would be both lodging tax and sales tax from
Okay.
out-of-state folks.
Does that include all the marijuana money that we're no longer getting?
Don't think it would include any
I think it'd be
marijuana
higher
tax.
if it was.
Yeah, that would be a separate tax item.
Well, that makes more sense.
So we need to
The
have
other
some
thing-
get-togethers, some neighborhood get-togethers, stuff
Yeah.
going on. I mean, I think it's already kind of late to be doing this. It's good. It needs to be done, but have people talking about it at barbecues, whatever. The farmers market. Get it out on the tip of people's minds and tongues.
The other thing can always mention in terms of what lodging funds are going towards that benefit the public are festivals and events and cultural institutions. So I have to date this year things that we have provided funding to help support include the Smithsonian exhibit and Winterfest that went on in, was that December? The A.R. Mitchell Museum, Main Street Live, the 420 Festival, Santa Fe Trail Days, the Trinidad Triggers, Trinidad Art Fest, the Farmers Market, this Mount Carmel concert series that's been ongoing this summer, and the rodeo. So a lot of things that we all look forward to every year are getting bolstered from the lodging tax fund. So, people love many of those events and places. So it's worth reminding them that they may or may not exist without some level of support out of the city.
Mhm. Thank you.
Any other questions? No. So I just have kind of like a brainstorming. So is there anything that you can think of right off the top of your head that we can work together on?
I guess something that we're trying to do from the Historic Preservation Committee is some more events for people to go around town and learn about the history. So what we're starting to do first is we're trying to put together a historic haunted ghost tour of Main Street. So talk about the history of the buildings and spice it up, because not everybody likes to talk about old dead people unless they've got unless they're haunting the building. So things like that, we're trying to have free events for people to go around, learn a little bit about the town, and we're hoping that if this first one's successful, then we can build upon it. So maybe do another one about the mafia. Everybody likes to talk about Al Capone being down here, and then do one about like the early settlements of Trinidad. So kind of try and do the whole early settlement up through modern day coal mining, all that kind of stuff. So as we're getting those rolled out, we could probably come to you guys to say, hey, if you can put out the word, we're going to put this stuff on and try to make it not just a one-off event. I'm trying to build it up so that way it's actually feasible to keep doing it year after year. So something for residents to do, but also for people that are coming through town. Hey, there's this weird tour that we can go wander around town and learn about it. So that's something that we're trying to do.
I think that sounds really cool.
That's perfect, because I'm happy because we do have a mechanism for that. If you go to the tourism website, there's a link where you can fill in a form, and it will go directly to the marketing firm, and they will promote that, and that would be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wasn't that a business a while back, doing those ghost tours?
I
Yes.
feel like that would be successful.
I talked to the guy that used to help run it.
And?
And he's all on board. He said that it was tough to run as a business, that they just had a lot of hit and miss from month to month. But yeah, he gave me a bunch of information. He was really excited about it starting up, and was more than willing to help out with the planning phase of it. So
Yeah, at a minimum, we can get that in front of our agency, and we could even maybe get you connected directly with them, and they could help with, graphics and any other promotional stuff.
Yep.
That's great.
But you guys, I assume those are going to be free events, and is it board members who will be leading them?
So I'm gonna try to get somebody from the history museum to run it, but if that falls through, then it'll be probably me
Sure.
hiking around town, doing at least this year's.
Cool.
So
Are you trying to do the ghost tour then this fall?
yeah,
Right on.
I'm shooting for the day that they trick or treat on Main Street.
Okay.
So that way, and currently thinking like towards the end of it, so that way if somebody who's down here with their kids wants to do it, and then it should be kind of getting dark enough for it to be more fun. So we're just gonna see.
What buildings are you planning?
I'm not entirely sure yet. I've got a list of different ones, what we're looking at, like the Savoy, the Columbian Hotel, the Opera House, maybe the Mitchell. We're thinking about the Baca and the Bloom houses.
The mortuary for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right now I'm keeping it down to probably just 5, because I don't want to
Look at the raccoons.
get it to be too much. I want it to be manageable for the first year, and then we can build on it from there.
What kind of stuff have you gotten from this marketing firm that's going to help? I mean, are they doing anything yet, or?
They've been working all year.
Are you gonna get rid of the raccoons?
Really came on board
Me
in the
too.
spring and started really cranking.
It's a private building,
so
so there's
they-
not so much we can do about it.
Have like bolstered our asset library, so a bunch of photos and videos. And they've been doing all our social media
The
for
other day,
quite some time
on
now.
Facebook, there was like,
They refreshed the tourism website, so it's not a full redesign, but they went and gave it a facelift. It looks a lot nicer now. We're currently kind of combing through that content to get it updated.
So they're talking about the ballot initiative somewhere, right?
Yes.
Is that their job?
They're assisting with it.
Okay.
But that's more things like putting this deck together with promotional talking points and things like that. So
Okay.
that's not something we would really want out on like the Visit Trinidad channels, and that's what they're running because that's more public facing than town facing, you know. So I don't really know what else they might do in that regard on the lodging tax. But yeah, we've been seeing a lot of growth across basically all stats in terms of the digital marketing. So website visitors, downloads of the visitor's guide. They are running paid ads as well, like on Google and on social media. So all those like one stat I really love from them is their click-through rates on the social media ads are something like 15 to 20%. And I have a digital marketing background, and industry average is probably more like 4 to 5%. So that's a good indicator that they're targeting well and that there's good interest in Trinidad. So that doesn't guarantee someone comes here, but we don't know if that's working until we get the revenue numbers back from the city, really. So.
What do you guys think of the idea of having a booth at the farmer's market just with this focus, our focus? That we're
That's
talking
not a bad
about?
thought.
So that'd be easy enough. Find some people like me to man.
Yeah, I'm already
other
there,
people.
so we could easily do something. I might add to that, I'm Chris Miller, if you don't know, and we in an agreement with the marketing firm that we have, they turned their local radio back over to us, and that's something that we're starting to push on KCRT, and then also Coyote Country and Raton, about the benefits of quality of life. That quality of life is good for us,
Right.
those that live here, but it's also good for visitors.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have a good quality of life, they're not going to want to come see us. And we've got to improve some things that includes capital improvements.
Right.
And various obvious things, parks and recreation. So we are running a regular campaign with that, and the lodging tax board is managing that separately from the agency because it makes more sense. We're right here, and we can get that done. And it's a lot cheaper. So
Cool. Afterwards, maybe we could chat about the booth idea and then how to get that moving or whatever. I'll get a hold of Dave Galutz and
do I say that again?
the booth idea at the farmers market.
Yeah,
And just
it could be.
just do it. I
We
mean,
do see
okay.
a lot of people. It's a matter of having the people available to do it. This board is all volunteer,
Right.
and except for the old man on the board, they all have jobs and businesses and stuff.
Jim?
I could easily, if we get some printed stuff printed,
The old man,
pass it
sorry.
out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And or they could come and use my booth partially. I don't think that the market would run me off for that, but
I'll come down to the market.
it's a good idea because a lot of nonprofits do that.
Yeah, I'll come down Saturday and talk to you at the market, at the farmers
what?
market. You're at the farmers market, you said,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he'll come talk to you Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I only have one hearing aid working for some
Okay.
reason,
Yeah.
so sorry about
It's
that.
okay.
I said I was old. So.
Anybody have anything else they'd like to share? Amanda, you got anything?
No, I just, with all your connections, who you partner with as small business, I'm very interested in making sure that small businesses when they know about what tourism events are coming up, how they can leverage that to their benefit. So we want to provide like a toolkit to say, these are the events coming up, this is how you can get involved, this is how you can improve your.
We could probably tweak the Lazy Crazy Days of Summer toolkit to become just a general.
Okay.
Maybe take a look. Take a look at
You guys are business owners in town?
that. I'm a manager for Native Roots. I don't own the business.
And yours is?
I'm a financial advisor in town, but I also run the women's networking group, Women of Los Animas County, and I helped launch the Winterfest 2023, or sorry, 24 this year.
I think yours is Edward Jones?
No,
No, sorry.
I'm
sorry.
Transamerica Financial Advisor.
Sorry about that. Probably inappropriate anyway.
I'm a co-owner of Tarantula Cycles bike shop. Just got our preliminary loan approval to try and buy this building on Main Street.
Nice.
Ooh, which
Cool.
one?
And I don't,
Me and Maple.
and I don't currently work at a job. I'm volunteer with the Main Street Live. I direct shows there and then volunteer for this board because my background in history for the last 60 years has been tourism and marketing. So.
Right on. Thanks.
Yeah, one other thing, you're talking about being a little behind the game on the lodging tax increase, which, yeah, I could agree with that. So, on a similar note, if we can start looking ahead to next year's budget in terms of those quality of life improvements. So, I took back, after talking to you guys a couple times, our recommendations to council. I don't believe any of those have been acted on, which is a little frustrating, but what can you do besides try and remind them to spend some money? One lesson I learned from that is probably let's pick like one single thing. I had 3 options for them. They might have some option paralysis there. But if you guys want to start discussing that in terms of the Parks and Rec side, what you might want to see for a capital improvement, $150,000 is what we have available there. So it's a decent chunk of change. Can't complete some projects, but you could look at things like grant matching if it's a larger thing, or just start chipping away at some of the small stuff. So yeah, if you guys want to start discussing those
The
things.
recreation center is the most popular, the thing people want the most, according to surveys. And I mean, granted, you're not going to get one in the first year or two, but I mean, if you inform people that this is the steps, the type of step you need to take to achieve a goal like that, you know, otherwise it's never going to happen. It's got to be incremental, and this quality of life, you know, improvement, that certainly falls into it. You know, a full-time rec center, they're already kind of hoping for that, but there's no
That's
funds.
a multi-million-dollar project.
I know.
Yeah. What we could do to move towards that goal is to have funding from the lodging tax that would pay maybe someone who could do grant writing full-time.
Right.
So that they could pull money from that direction.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that. I don't know that lodging tax is ever going to be big enough in Trinidad to pay outright for a rec center.
But like you said, you need to do planning and et cetera, you know, ahead
It
of
did
time.
pay for programming though, so you know,
Yeah.
one thing we had discussed at our joint meeting was like I think a soccer league. So if we have a new rec center or even out of our current one, you know, we could hire a coach or referees, get some equipment, get somebody to administrate that program. So that's something that we could probably accomplish with that money.
Right. So these are the types of concrete things that we need to say, this is what, you know, we hope we can do. You know.
We
These are
need
the
some
goals.
tournaments and stuff like that. You don't just need it within the city. I mean, you know, it's all well and good that these kids are playing against each other and stuff like that, which I fully agree with, because I think my son was in that AYSO program, when it first started, you know, in with the early 90s or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we need to support some tournaments and things like that that are gonna actually bring people in, you know, and maybe get the kids involved in stuff again. And before I leave, the whole thing about this lodging tax, I want to say, is you got to tell people in Trinidad, the voters, that it's not going to cost us a dime. And you have to stress that, because if they think, you know, when they see, oh, taxes are going up, that's all they think about is, you know, I don't want to pay any more taxes. So you have to really stress that it is not us paying it, it is tourists.
Well, you'll also have, what I found after last year's vote, people, you know, they're maybe very pro-tourism, but they got in their minds from either something they heard that, oh, you're going to use some of it on capital improvement. Well, I'm not interested in that. I want to promote tourism. Well, that's where the disconnect, the lack of communication came in, because, you know, by doing some capital improvement that helps quality of life, just like I said a minute ago, you know, that helps everybody, our visitors. Another thing is, I've been through it in Texas, in places in Lubbock, Amarillo, and Canyon. The hoteliers get all freaky about it because you're going to raise our rates. If we just doubled what we have now, some of the even more expensive rooms, it won't raise at $5. And that's something we need to get the hoteliers to realize.
And you have to educate the people in that fact that it's, you know, it's not going to cost that much more. And it, you know, that's the whole thing. Put a sign out and everybody's going to say, I don't know, should I vote for that? And then that's what gets the
People
I don't
won't
know,
even read the
community
ballot
talk
measure if
and-
it says tax, if they're, you know
Oh,
what
yeah,
I mean, unless
that's
they're
always
pre-informed
the
about
no.
it.
Wording, yeah.
People never get past that first word,
No,
tax.
they
Exactly.
don't. And, you know, anymore they word this stuff so badly.
It's like legally
Double-layered.
required to start with raise the taxes as one of the first raises, so everybody just stops.
Is there, I don't recall last year if there was any comments for or against, and you know how they have that in the,
It kind of got flushed, though. There wasn't any comments, period, if you
you
noticed.
know,
I
maybe
mean,
that would
you
be
know.
good if somebody could make some comments of some sort.
Yeah.
Hopefully pro.
I agree, and that's what we're doing with the
Anyway, I'm
radio, is
gonna head
trying
out.
to build up.
Bye, Deb.
This was a last minute thing, so I'm gonna see you guys.
We have a residents meeting October 24th, same time, same place, that we'll do the ACE presentation at, which is what tourism is and what it does for.
So that's 2 weeks
Would you
before the
like some
ballot.
eggs?
What are you throwing eggs
Are
at
you
people?
throwing
I'm
eggs?
throwing eggs at people, yes.
Would I? Yeah.
I have a lot of eggs. Okay,
Yes.
We have some new, so we got some real
I
small.
think we
ones.
already have her
Cute.
phone, so I don't
would
know.
love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name's Debbie.
Hi,
by
Debbie.
the way.
Amanda.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
I'll come down and see you one of these days. My knee doesn't bend right. I already have a bike. Nice to meet you.
Neither one of mine been right, so.
Right.
Thanks for
All right.
coming.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
Yes. Awesome. Anything else that you guys would like to discuss before we do our regular meeting?
If you have a clever quip, the most clever quip gets the next 1 dozen eggs. So be thinking, okay?
So are we ready?
So you're moving on to a regular meeting now?
I think so.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks a lot.
Unless you guys have anything else, we sure will. Appreciate you coming, really.
Yeah, I'll try to follow up with you, Chris. Hopefully I can be at the market around 9 or.
And I'll see you Saturday, so.
Keep us posted on the tours as well,
Yeah, well,
because we'll definitely
Yes.
get the word out on that.
absolutely.
Excited about that. So I will call to order the regular meeting of the Lodging Tax Advisory Board. Roll call, please.
If you want me to, I can. Just
Sure.
why?
That's normally something that Marty would have done.
Yeah,
That's,
that'd
which
be,
is why I'm like, are you doing it or you
I,
want me to do
I
it?
can if you want
Do you know-
to.
Just yell out random names.
Do you still by your last names?
That's fine. Korth, Kozlowitz,
Here.
Ryan.
Korth.
Here,
Oh.
you can just say Cos. That's fine.
Kozlowitz.
Here. I got
Miller.
I'm here.
Decker.
Right down here.
Ryan.
did
Thank
Jason
you.
say he wasn't gonna be here? Or was he?
I thought that they said that he was going to be here.
Is Lindsay gonna
And I
be here?
know she sent out the,
no. We
We're
only
just
get
doing Lindsay
on the
one
first.
time.
Lindsay's on the first
Oh, that's a
meeting
good
of the
thing.
month, yeah. So the next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Does anyone have any changes that they wanted to make?
No, just that the decision matrix should go on old business. That's it.
Yeah, I
You
put
have
it in the
another
wrong
copy of
place,
that
sorry
agenda?
Desiree.
Say that again.
I put old business and I put decision making under the new decision matrix under the new business, should have been under old business. I don't know how much that matters.
Motion to approve the agenda. I'd just leave it on new business. It's fine.
Okay,
It's a technicality.
yeah.
Can I get a second?
Second,
All in favor of
Aye.
approval of the agenda?
Aye.
Aye, alright. Approval of the minutes from 8/8. 8/1.
I did not get back in there and update with the 5 minutes I missed. So I don't know if any decisions were made in
I
that
mean,
time.
I don't think so, but what, I don't know the rule.
So tell me that one more time. Sorry.
So I was about 5 minutes late. You sent me the link to the recording, but I didn't go back and update.
So you were
the
5
minutes.
minutes late, so you missed the first 5 minutes on your minutes.
Correct, yes, which we are currently voting to approve.
So what you'll have to do is do those, the way I understand it, you'll have to amend the minutes and then vote on them the next round. Add them into your next meeting.
So do we vote to not accept them this time and to amend it?
I would.
Okay, so I'll need a motion to not accept the minutes and to have them amended for next time.
That's what I would do. And then you would add this meeting minutes and your last meeting minutes. That way you can add those 5 minutes in,
Okay,
just to make it legit.
You mean in the motion?
Yeah, I would put it in your motion, but yeah.
all right. And those are,
That
actually
was-
it's the 8/8.
Yeah, I put it wrong.
So, motion to, I say defer.
That's
So,
good.
I'll motion to defer on approving these minutes until they can be amended.
Second.
From the August 8th meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, old business, the residential meeting invite. So I'm not sure who that would be because we don't have access. But is it possible, I guess this is a question for you. Is it possible for us to create a Facebook event for that meeting?
So let me get approval and then let me get back to you. Because you are a city board, it is city business, I'm allowed to post city business on our Facebook page, so I don't see why not. But let me get official word. I don't see why not.
You're running out of people to answer to and ask questions.
So
I
we
don't
have
see
a
why
follow-up
not.
on that.
I don't post any other agendas for any other boards on Facebook right now, so, but
Do they
Then-
ask you?
I do get asked.
You do get asked?
But let me,
It would be like a residential work session, maybe?
I don't see why not. I don't think it would be a problem.
What's the date on that? It's gonna be the second meeting of next month?
No, I'm getting an early start. The second meeting of next month is going to be our business partners. So it's going to be in October, on October 24th.
Okay.
I want to make sure we have plenty of time to get the word out. So that I will get a follow-up with Des from the Facebook event. The second thing I had was the radio interview.
Can you set that up
So Chris can set that up.
for you to come talk, or you and I can talk, or you and
Yeah.
Joe, or?
I mean, I would probably feel a little better if my first time on the radio I did have a partner. So,
I'm willing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No.
I just can't commit to scheduling anything else. So
Okay.
I'm very comfortable being on the radio, but timing I think would be very difficult.
I'll set that up in September,
Okay.
and at least 2-3 weeks ahead of it. And then you mentioned radio, but using the spots, I may have figured out a way to do that, and just like leading up to it. You know, if you're interested in what we do, you know, special meeting, blah blah blah, we can do that. I just
That would be great.
recorded the mayor talking about quality of life and some things that I'm putting that together now.
Cool.
So,
When you do a radio interview, do you get to come up with your own questions? So, like, would this be something that's pretty much scripted?
the interview, you say what you want to say. It's Eli will probably do the interview, so
Yeah.
And
he'll
he's
ask
great.
whatever we want
He is,
to ask.
he
So.
will make you very, very comfortable.
Is it
He's
Yeah.
super.
is it pre-recorded or live?
Oh yeah,
No, it's
no, it's
pre-recorded.
pre-recorded
Thank goodness.
because it runs on 2 different stations.
And you're going to listen and go, my voice sounds so great. It sounds so different
So
when I hear it
weird.
inside my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
I
there.
have a tendency to say I get nervous. But if it's recorded, I might not be so nervous.
Oh, you just talk like you're visiting. You know, that's not a biggie.
Okay, so Chris will set that up. Just let me know. Afternoons are better for me at work.
Yeah, probably get it around 2:30.
That would work. And the last item is on this one is the city cut back on advertising. And I just wanted to know if you would like to say some words about that, since you had the direct information. I know, I'm sorry.
And you totally, like, I didn't come prepared.
No, I'm so sorry. All it is we won't be able to do an insert on the utility insert. It is a little more expensive.
It's $800, isn't it? Or what is it?
There's like 4,800 copies that you would have to make. And at this time, because of the way that the third quarter revenue, did I take third quarter or second
I think
quarter
we're in
revenue?
the third.
Second quarter revenue came in, it didn't come in, or we're third quarter right now.
We're third quarter right now.
So
it's
third quarter revenue didn't come back the way that the city anticipated with lodging tax. And so they're trying to cut back on advertising right now. That's what I was given by the financial director.
Okay.
So that includes like the newspaper ads as well. But like, I'm so bad with names. Like she was saying, we might be able to get the Chronicle to do something.
Yeah,
on
Chronicle
there.
is
Well-
not so bad. It's about $24 for 24. It's not as bad as a $4,500.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So radio maybe and newspaper might be doable.
So I was going to suggest I'm jumping ahead for items for the next meeting, like doing a straw man, or not a straw man, starting on what is a cohesive plan for promoting the lodging tax increase. Because just like when this gentleman asked here, what are we going to do next? So I'd like to do it this week. We're going to do this, and each thing builds on top of each other. I can put something together to start with.
What's the company that David said is going to get
That's
in?
the land trust.
Do we know what they're doing?
Yes,
They
actually.
just reached out to him.
Oh, that.
I think they
Trust
just reached
for
out to
Public Land.
local business,
But I
Trust
think
for
he's
Public
good.
Lands. Yeah,
Yeah.
to local businesses. They're going to be
Same
doing the promotion on behalf of the city because the city can't. I think they're going to say that. I think Steve said they were going to be doing the bulk of the promotion.
Oh, they are? Okay.
'Cause-
We just need to know about it
So the
because
city-
we're gonna get questions.
Yeah, we need to at least, be aware of how they're promoting it. The nice thing it is,
Huh?
they're not restricted by law, so.
Yeah,
There's what?
there's a meeting. You'll have to
There's a-
send it out to us individually.
It's not a meeting yet.
Oh, no.
Not yet. So, Trinidad Lodging Tax Initiative. I got this sent to me from the program director for conservation finance at the Trust for Public Land. It
We
looks
may have to
like,
pause this. I may have to call order because it's not on the agenda.
oh, fair enough.
Yeah,
I don't know how we even got here.
yeah.
Oh,
We
maybe that was
took a
for-
side.
for next time.
That's
We can
okay.
leave it for later.
We'll put it on the agenda.
Yeah, I'm all for allowing for
All right, so that was that on the, just letting you guys know that we might be able to do in this paper. We're not going to be able to do the inserts. Radio, I think, is great. I think we'll be doing. A lot of people in Trinidad listen to the radio.
Well, it's unique because it is a small town. It is the only real radio here, but it also, because of its format, is and when you have Lisa Camarillo saying that radio works here, then it must work. So.
Cool. There are no actionable items on that, so we'll just move on to new business. Discussion of a special meeting with DIQ and RADFest. So I'll have to reach out to Lindsay, but we have had a request that we meet with the RADFest organizer, I can't remember her name, as well as Lindsay. They would like to meet with Lindsay from DIQ, and I think Pat Hallett wanted to be involved in that meeting as well from the Chamber of Commerce, and that would be to discuss ways to promote RADFest, and that whole
Hopefully
line
also-
of discussion.
ways to involve the local businesses.
Yes, that was part of it too.
I don't know if that's the race director who's going to be doing that. Her name is Tamara Gemley.
That's her, Tamara.
I just talked to her today. Finally.
You're just talking to everybody.
She's hard to get a hold of. We've been trying to connect for a while. But we were discussing Tarantula being the providing mechanic support. So there's a lot of need for volunteers as well. That's not strictly our purview, but I think it's really important for this event to be successful. And I know that council was discussing it at a recent work session. So that's something that could come up in this if we can spread the news through the chamber, through DIQ's work that, if the town supports this event, whether that's through volunteering, through showing up to the expo and like the start and finish line. I mean, it's a fun time down there. Or just through not being a jerk when you see people out riding. And, say hi, say welcome to Trinidad, like make sure that they're having a good time, like show off your town, right? So yeah, anything we can do in that regard makes it a successful event. They are anticipating 1,200 riders this year. Currently at about 900, which is an increase over this point in time last year. So that's a lot of people coming and spending money.
Yes.
We need to make them have a good time so that they'll come back and bring their families.
So let's schedule this meeting next week. Can you do it next week, guys?
I can do it whenever you want.
Would we be looking for like the same?
I would be thinking like 2 p.m. on Thursday. Would that be okay, or would you like to do like 4 p.m.?
Next Thursday, I'm really,
Okay, so
Back to
maybe
back
not
meetings.
Thursday.
and
I'm
Friday I'm
available
out.
any afternoon after 2 p.m. So it doesn't have to be 2 p.m. It can be later than that. But it's really hard for me to wait before my afternoon crew gets
I
there.
could do next Tuesday or Wednesday, or most of the time during the week of Labor Day.
Yeah, I'm wide open next week. Relatively, I might have to call in depending on shop schedule, but that's fine.
Chris, you got anything?
I'm open
Yeah.
whenever.
So let me see. Next week, that's the 27th or the 28th. Either day, do you have a preference?
December 28th.
That's Tuesday or Wednesday?
This will be an official meeting for the board?
It'd be a special meeting with the board, DIQ hopefully, and the RadFest and the Chamber of Commerce.
So you're probably gonna have to do it virtual, cause I don't know what's going on
Oh, we're
here.
gonna have,
Or,
Oh, virtual would be great.
I don't know what's going on.
virtual's fine with me.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I couldn't tell you
If
what's,
that's cool.
without my computer, I
Yeah.
can't really tell you what's going on in here or in there.
Can you do virtual?
I can. I actually am smart enough to
Well, I didn't.
hit that button. So I started out here as a board on virtual because of COVID. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Between
Sorry.
those, Wednesday's probably gonna be better because I'll probably be in the field at the park next Tuesday. So I don't think I'll be available to call in.
Wednesday.
Yep.
All right. That day I can do 3.
That works for me.
3 o'clock.
Let's go later.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we will
You'll send out
do
us information.
4 p.m. on 8/28. So for that agenda, do we want? Can we call it a work session?
If you're not gonna vote on anything,
I don't think it's gonna need a vote.
Yeah, there shouldn't be anything to
if you're
vote
just
on.
gonna be
It's just to
talking.
kind of do an introduction to
I mean, we might.
between the RadFest people and
Who
DIQ.
who called for the meeting?
Vice
As a
President.
liaison to local businesses.
Who
Will we
called?
have to vote?
Who called for the meeting? I mean, what group? The RAD or?
This is something that we've been kind of tossing around with Steve, but it originates from Keeley. Keeley had said that they wanted to meet with the marketing people. The RadFest people wanted to meet with the marketing.
Okay.
So she got with Steve and some other people and asked that we set up a meeting. And Steve okayed that. We have been talking about it for a couple
Let
of
me
weeks.
talk with, well, Steve's last day is tomorrow. So let me see if I can grab somebody and, cause I wouldn't call it a work session.
Well,
I wouldn't even call it a special meeting. I would call it a special meeting, but you're not really voting, but
Like, do we need an agenda for that?
yeah,
I really-
because
if-
all of your board members are coming together.
Uh-huh.
So you would be violating an open meeting law if you didn't have an agenda.
if only two of us
If only 2 of you went,
went,
then it's
Met, then it-
not a meeting, technically.
I mean, I don't know that it needs all. I mean, they basically want to meet and talk to DIQ because going through us
Yeah.
has not always been what.
Yeah, if
Some
you
people
guys are
might.
just doing an informal, but if more than 2 members show, that's a meeting.
Then we're.
And you're violating open
Good.
meeting
Then we go
law.
to jail. So.
You're going to open meeting law. Jail, open meeting jail.
So what do you recommend?
Do you want to
You're
just
the
talk about it
expert.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
Let's
why
talk
don't you
about it
reach
tomorrow.
out and then, okay. And then we'll decide what kind of meeting, but there will be a meeting of some sort at 4 p.m. on 8/28. We'll let you know if everybody needs to attend or if we're going to go informal route. The next item on the agenda is Alpha Maps discussion. Do you have anything for Alpha Maps discussion?
No, this is Jason.
That was Jason.
We'll have to punt it, I guess.
Yeah, so I guess.
Well, I think in general, what he wanted to know was, can we get access to it? And I'm not sure that Desiree would know that. So we might have to send a note to Marty about it. See if she has the keys to that, if we still have it.
I don't know.
So the question is, do
I
we?
can ask her.
Yeah. So it's a tool called Alpha Maps. If there might be something equivalent too, but the idea is to track visitors via cell phone data. So if we still have that tool, we would love to get access or at least get reports regularly out of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Jason did say we used to have it. Don't know if we still do.
I'll ask Marty.
And it is on our decision matrix. Okay. Well, that's really something that we'll get a follow-up on too. Last thing under new business is the decision matrix, which is really old business, but kind of new. Let's see, I've got it here.
Marty sent out a copy to everybody on July the 12th.
Yes.
And as a review, it's kind of, it's a protective measure. We need to have a uniform way that we go about making decisions on who gets money for their first time event or second time event. So we don't have somebody come back going, why did you give this person $5,000 and me only $2,500? We're limited on funds. So I created something that would give weight based on priority. So I'm wanting you to go through those list of qualifiers to see if you think they're good qualifiers, or add something that you think needs to be added, or take out this point. And I gave you two, one for first time events and one for second, because they're kind of two different criteria on what it is we base. And I remember last time Jason did talk about the alpha maps, or talked about how many people attended. You know, did we see an increase in revenue? That kind of stuff. So we can look at the second time events, we can see how well they did the first time.
Okay. I know we had a physical copy when you first drafted it. Did you email?
No, Marty emailed it to everybody on July 12th.
Okay, cool.
So it's in your email box if you want to look at that. And it's fine if you want to wait till next time to give me.
Matrix is the subject line.
Got it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm probably fine just rolling with it, and we can refine it as we go if we need to. We
Okay.
can just start using it.
I can make it into we can make it into something we can use electronically. So every time we do funding, everybody goes in and puts their score in, and then it can all go onto a Google Drive. Or we each take it physically and write our numbers in it and hand it in. I mean, obviously it would be better records-wise if it just goes electronically and no one has to keep track of paper.
Yeah, I mean, we can all do that on our phones.
Okay.
I am in favor of digitizing everything.
I can't remember what program I've used to create that kind of thing. Is it Microsoft Access? Is that what it's called?
I mean, you probably could do it through Google Forms.
Okay. I'll make it in Google Forms, and y'all can
Yeah.
test it.
That would
Because
be
I can
great.
do a formula in each one, right? That if you put in 5, it multiplies it based on priority.
That I'm not sure about.
Okay, because I know you can do that on a spreadsheet, but I'll see if we can do it on Google Forms. Okay, I'll do that for next time.
Cool. Nice. Just out of curiosity from the city expert, should we get something like this approved?
I said, probably.
Nobody's
way.
gonna know.
Yeah, no, forget that.
We've got at least 2
No,
months.
you
We
do
say,
stuff
Steve,
and-
approve that. So
Yeah, ask
No, that means
forgiveness
tomorrow.
later.
Tomorrow's his
Okay.
last day.
that's what I mean. We
It's
got
just
2
like the
months just to
verbiage.
use his
Oh,
name.
okay.
So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I don't think there's any rules around
He said we
the
could.
ways that we make decisions. Like, we're still make a vote on it in the end. This is just to have more standardized
Okay.
way to do it with a paper trail that is ideally more fair than us just talking about stuff. So, there shouldn't be any city rules around how the board reaches a decision.
Like the
and makes a vote.
criteria,
Yeah,
like-
as long as we're adhering to.
Like when I'm hiring someone, I can't ask, hey, do you have kids?
Mhm.
Or, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't know if there's something that when people come to us. for
As long
comments,
as you
can't.
stick to what your ordinance says, and you abide by what your ordinance says.
Well, this is
you-
all just recommendations
Yeah.
too.
So, and you abide by, your Roberts rules, your board rules, and you remain within those boundaries, then, you're fine. And as long as you're, you follow the rules of decorum and all that type of thing, you're fine, you know, so.
Cool. And that's that. We don't have anything to vote on for this either. No voting today. Or
Wow.
we did a couple of them. Yeah. I like it. But, nothing major. Just moving some stuff around. Next is miscellaneous from board members. And I do have something, unfortunately. We were not able to get registered for the Governor's Tourism Conference. It is full. We are on a waiting list. So maybe, I don't know for sure, but
Do we want to like prioritize, or can we prioritize to be like, if you pick anyone from Trinidad, pick this person on the waiting list?
I don't know.
Draw straws.
Do you know?
All I
Motion for it?
told them was if they would put us on a waiting list
Sure.
and they're gonna get back to us, so I'm guessing it's probably one seat.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
also feel like it's
That's,
not super likely, and and if it happens, it probably happens last minute as heck. So
yeah.
So between whoever wanted to go, you probably would all have to decide who
sure.
should go.
Well,
Yeah, that's fine.
we can cross that bridge when we come to it, I guess.
Any other miscellaneous items?
I have a question. All the, last meeting, we had 3 recommendations that were to go to the council.
Oh, right.
Did they get to the council? Is there going to be, are they gonna be on the agenda, do you know?
The paperwork I
How many
did for the
was-
minor lake. We had to put in the paperwork.
Marty is putting in the PO, so that'll go to Cheryl, and she'll
So
get
that was
approved.
done, it's
Yes.
just okay.
Yes.
I don't remember what the others, I know there was 3 of them.
Winterfest as a city event, I
Yeah,
did mention it. The form that Marty had given us to fill out for recommendations, I don't have that, and when I asked for
I
it,
found
it was oh, you found it?
Yeah,
So that, well, she'll get me that and I'll get it filled out.
okay, because
But I did
we actually
mention
had
it.
time on that, I just knew that
Yeah.
the fishing thing at Monument was kinda
The other
coming
one
up.
was to recommend an RFP for a new website build and hosting. That will also go on to one of those recommendation forms to be turned in back to Des once I have them. Right?
I'll
That's where
send
you
that
go.
to you, yeah,
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Isn't it from the meeting on the 1st?
And,
Yeah, the RFP was from August 1st.
Yeah.
Also, we just got an email from Lindsay Diamond because she said, following up on a request from the recent lodging tax board meeting, you had asked about blocking keywords in Meta. Turns out we already have this set up and are blocking police, body cam, lawsuit, and sheriff.
why are we blocking those?
Because there was a
There
huge
was a
shit
problem.
show a year and a half ago where an old Los Angeles County sheriff like totally abused a guy, and then the county got sued for several $1 million. So every post was just getting blown up with comments on that. That was at the city level, not the tourism, but you know, people will find any posts they post.
Oh, yeah.
So they said if you have any other words that you'd like to block, I'd be happy to run them by the ads team.
Another thing I had was, did y'all throw a party for Steve?
No,
Just gonna kick him out and say, go, you're the bum, you left us.
nothing has been decided that I know of for tomorrow, but who knows?
Well, just curious.
I suggested snacks tomorrow, but nobody's said anything yet.
Right? Go get cake.
And I guess that's. Oh, the mayor did say, sorry she couldn't be here today. She had something else when it was put at this time. So I did meet with her day for yesterday. So.
Okay. That's okay. Alright.
I have one other miscellaneous item,
Gotcha.
good on that, which we have previously discussed at the last meeting, but ties back to our work session here. Jeff Montoya volunteered to do promotional video on the lodging tax increase. Do we want to try and get him here at our next meeting so we can just talk to him directly and he can maybe start working on that?
Be a good idea. Maybe it's something that DIQ can use. You know.
What was the first name?
Jeff Montoya.
Jeff.
Same fellow who was doing the other video editing for us.
I've met him a few times. I just wanted to call him Joe Montoya.
There
For
is a
some
Joe
reason.
Montoya in town. There's several Montoyas in town.
Let's see if she can make it 20.
And want to thank you for trying to keep up with us,
Yeah.
keep us out of trouble or in trouble, whatever it is.
You're welcome.
I have a miscellaneous question. I was gonna ask if we were all going to the governor's thing at the end of September, that falls on our second meeting. But then if you still go 2 months after that, are we gonna have meetings on, we're not gonna have a meeting on Thanksgiving, we're not gonna have it on Christmas.
We
So,
could probably do it like the Wednesday before, or a
Wednesday.
couple days before, the week before, the week after.
I'll cook a turkey if we have it on Thanksgiving.
yeah,
Right?
I've worked on Thanksgiving. So.
I'll bring the sweet potato casserole.
Yeah, we can make adjustments as needed. So, any other miscellaneous from the board? All right, last thing is the discussion of the agenda. Okay.
I can give the update on numbers. I'll meet with Cheryl between now and then, come with the numbers.
Awesome.
Numbers from Amanda, all right. And then, of course, we will have DIQ updates.
And I'll have the decision makers matrix. I'll try and do an electronic version of it.
Decision matrix. All right. I have Jeff Montoya on there. Anything that I'm not remembering? We'll put a discussion of business partner meeting agenda. Anything else you guys can think of?
Potentially promotion of the ghost tour. If we get any info on it.
To wait to see what happens and should we, or how do we know if we get info on
That guy's gonna send it to us, I guess.
I had a request. Jamie of Skate Lane,
it?
her ad is supposed to be in rotation once the weather gets cooler, but she gets a lot of tourism, a lot of people from out of town that come during the warm season, so she was wondering if her ad could be moved up more in the rotation around now. Are they limited? Is DIQ limited on how many how many ads they can do, how many events or places they can do in their, what do they call that? Rotation?
It's
Oh,
that
carousel.
Carousel, yeah.
Yeah. Are they limited on that? Can we add her ad into that now?
That's the
Yeah,
question.
so I do think the one thing, there's no reason they couldn't do this, but it's tied to the Lazy Crazy Days campaign. So they had to get her updated on the website then too, as
Okay.
part of that.
Okay. So they could move it up. We just need to see if it's okay with Lindsay if we move it up, if they're able to move that up.
Yeah.
No, we tell her if we want her to move it up.
Well, yeah, I know. If I call her up, does the clock run? And I
Shoot her an email.
shoot her an email. Okay, and still, when she reads the
I just
email.
emailed.
Well, yeah, but I mean that applies to also getting those changes made, right? Because it'll be something they would bill, which is fine. I don't really think we need to be worried about that. Also, we're supposed to be getting $8,000 back into their budget from that new social lady. So like,
Okay. All right, I'll call Lindsay. If I'm allowed to call her, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
I called her up last
As long
week
as
when I talked
four
to
of you
her.
aren't calling her together.
Right. All right. Anything else? No? We're good? All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
And I'll make a motion.
in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Anybody want eggs? Got a lot of eggs.